Yo, back with another heart attack transformation. You know what's going down. We got a haircut transformation today. It's my homie. He said he wants to go back to the waves. You know what I'm saying? Wants to get 360 with it. So we're gonna go ahead and chop down his hair. He was rocking the braids for a little bit twist. You know what I'm saying? So um, yeah, he said he's done with it. 2024, New Year, baby. We about to go ahead and chop it all down. Keep that hair nice and healthy. Bring those 360s back. And I'm gonna go ahead and take y'all through this process of taking him back down to wavelength and chopping down this hair that he already picked out for me, so I didn't really have to worry about all that. We just went ahead and chopped it all down. So getting into it, as you can see, I'm just kind of freehanding it right now. So he's got a little fro going on. So yeah, just cutting it down, freehanding it first, because if I take the guard straight to his hair the way it is right now, it's gonna pull. I mean, you could do it, but it's just gonna be a lot more of a headache, and it's gonna ruin your clippers. So I highly recommend taking it down first by freehanding it. You don't have to take it down all the way. This is about the length on top right now is about the length that I took it down to all around, and then I take my guard and then I go over it all, because then the guard will go right through it. No pulling, no jamming, no nothing. So highly recommend doing it this way, you guys. So with all that being said, take it down, freehanding it first, and then we're gonna the length is gonna be a 1.5 all the way around with the grain. But I take it down with the 2 first. I actually thought we were gonna do it 2, but he said he wanted a little bit lower, so we take it down to 1.5 after we do the 2. So we do the 2 first, we lay it all down, get it nice and even with the 2 with the grain, and then we'll do a neck skin taper. We're gonna do a low skin taper on the sides. We are gonna line up the beard and stuff, but I didn't put that in the video. Just the haircut. So it's gonna be a low skin taper on both sides, skin taper on the neck, number 1.5 all the way around with the grain, and added enhancements at the end. I think this haircut came out really well. If you guys can make it to the end of the video, you guys can see the before and after close up and see the transformation that we did today. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna go through this video during each step and just explain the process that I did. This is the number 2 guard that we are doing with the grain, taking the hair all the way down. So we did a number 2 guard first, and now we're going to taper the neck. The only reason I haven't done the 1.5 yet was because I thought we were doing the 2. So it wasn't until after I did the neck taper that I realized he wanted it shorter. So we do the neck taper first, which is not a big deal because 1.5 and 2, it's not a huge difference. So it was very easy to still blend the neck taper into the 1.5, no problem. And with the neck taper, we start by balding out the bottom, and then we're going to use our clipper halfway open, no guard, go up. We're going to then blend with our zero between the balding trimmer and the clipper halfway open. And then we're just going to go up step by step, like the way we usually do it. So it's skin at the bottom, and then it's clipper halfway open, and then it's going to be blended between with the zero, and then it's going to be our half guard, which we have now, going up, lever close, going up about a finger's width, and then it's going to be our 1.5 guard to take off some of that weight. And we are going to then take our number 1 guard, lever open, blend in between there, playing around with the lever, open, close, going back to our half guard, and we're just going to kind of smooth it out. Then after the neck taper, we'll go ahead and do the 1.5 guard all the way around. Okay, so now we're doing the 1.5 guard. We're going to do that with the grain all the way around. The neck taper is done, but once we do the 1.5, we just got to go back down to the neck taper just with like our number 1 guard, maybe our half, and we're just going to kind of smooth that out, because it was blended into the 2, so we just want to make sure there's no extra weight or curl sticking up down there in the neck taper, and everything just kind of lays down flat. Okay, and now with the 1.5 guard with the grain all done, we're going to go ahead and move on to our skin taper on the side, so it's going to be a low skin taper. So I'm just removing a little bit of weight first, not going above the ear. We have our number one guard, just staying below the ear, around the neck taper area. We have our trimmer that we're going to use. We're going to put in a nice bald line right there. We're not going to go too high. Make sure to stay below the ear. That way you can keep it as a low skin taper. And yeah, and we're just gonna kind of keep it. It's more of like a burst taper, if you want to say, because it's like we're kind of going, we're not going like up like a fade. We're kind of going just out like towards behind the ear, up towards the lineup, kind of up towards the middle, and we're just kind of fading that area out. It's not going too high. It's not going to be anything too dramatic. Just a nice, simple low skin taper. So we do that with the same steps we did the neck taper. We bald it out, and then we just go up each step with our guards, and in between making sure to use those corners to blend. So it's going to be balding at the bottom, then going up with our clipper halfway open, no guard, and then using our zero in between that to blend. Then our trimmer, the corner of our trimmer to blend into the skin. You saw I did the shaver, that way it blends in nicely into the skin. And then we're going to take our half guard, go up another, not even fingers width, like a little bit less than that. And then we're going to be using that corner to make sure we blend nicely. And we're going to go up another guard to 1.5. We're going to skip to the 1.5. And then we'll go to our number one guard and play around with that lever. The lever is what you got to play around with and figure out, use your best judgment, figure out what's working and what's not. As long as you're not going too high too fast with a smaller guard, you're pretty much okay. And make sure to be using that mirror to check your work and everything is looking nice and blended. And kind of like this, so his hair is going to be standing up a little bit for a while. He's going to need to use product or just conditioner, or just to wash his hair and stuff a lot more until his hair lays down nice and flat again, because he had the hair grown out for so long. So it's going to take a little while for his hair to like lay flat. He's going to have to use a do-rag and stuff like that, keep it all down. But but right now we just got to go ahead and smooth it out. And sometimes you got to go down with the grain with the smaller guard in those areas like that to make sure the blend is nice and smooth and there's no extra curl sticking up. We are going to just repeat all the same steps on the opposite side. You already know, just remove some weight first. Start by balding, keep it low below the ear, and then just take those same steps that we did earlier and do the exact same thing. Be careful not to go too high. When people want a low skin taper, they want a low skin taper, okay? So just want to be careful and not go too high on anything. And I love using the shaver. I love using shavers for bald tapers or fades anyways, but the shaver around a low skin taper really makes it pop, once you add the lineup in and everything. So make sure to use that electric shaver when you're doing your low skin tapers. And so repeat all the same steps. We're gonna come back to this in a second, and we'll show you the next steps. Okay, so with the whole haircut basically being done now, his scalp is a little bit dry, so I just added a little bit of water in there, just to put on top, just keep it from being super dry. Because now we're going to go ahead and we are going to add in our holding foam. So this is a holding foam right here. This is to help his hair lay down nice and flat, so that way I can get in even cut all the way around and even line up, because it's going to be hard to get his lineup perfectly straight when his curls or when his hair is like still curling up in the front or just kind of all around. So this is to help everything just lay down nice and flat, so that way when he takes a shower and brushes his hair and wears his do-rag and everything's laying down, there won't be any excess hair hanging over. So we put the foam in all the way around. We use the blow dryer. I got the diffuser on there so it's not blowing super hard, but use the blow dryer, blow everything to dry it out, and use the brush and comb it in the direction that the hair is laying. And this way it's just going to help it stay down nice and flat, and when I line it up, it's going to keep everything nice and crispy. It's going to keep everything nice and natural. And yeah, as for the lineup, really nothing too crazy with that. Just follow the natural hairline. Everything's going to be nice and sharp and crispy with that foam in there. So yeah, just line everything up the way his natural hairline is, and make sure to use those corners of the trimmer, because those really help with getting around the ears like that, and getting around those C cup corner areas. Two things when lining up in the front. One is always start the lineup from the middle and work your way out, kind of both ways actually. Like, don't even wait to go to the other side. Just from whatever side you're comfortable on, stand there, stand in front of them, stand in the middle, and work your way out both ways. You don't have to go all the way to both sides, but at least just to know that you have a straight line kind of going, and then you'll catch up with it later. And then basically when you're doing the corners, not the top corners, but the bottom corners where the C cup is, if you want those C cup areas to stay matching, it's kind of like when you're cutting your side, trying to square off your sideburns on your own. You want them to match. You don't want one side to be higher than the other. So when you're doing that, same thing, kind of stay in the middle of your client and look with your eyes, maybe your finger too, and see where the shortest line is at, because that corner, you want it to be as long and natural as possible, but you want to follow the side that's the shortest, because that's the side you're gonna have to match up with, because obviously you can't make them grow more hair. So if you see where the shortest side is, follow that, but just make sure to follow it as best as possible, because when you do that, you don't want to go too high on the shorter side, and then you gotta take the other side super high, and then at that point you're cutting into their growing hair. You know what I mean? So you want to keep everything as long and as wide as possible, and follow the natural hairline as best to your ability. And then you just kind of bring those bars and the bars on the side, you just kind of bring those to connect everything together, and you're pretty much good. But yeah, I mean, lineup is definitely the best part of the haircut. And last thing, just because it'll make the haircut stand out a lot more, my client also requested it. We're just gonna add a little bit of enhancement. It's just a tiny bit of color. It washes out. I think it washes out after like a few washes, so it stays in for a little bit. Great addition to make a haircut like this with a big transformation stand out. So we use a little bit of the color spray within the airbrush, and then we use just a tiny bit of hair fibers as well. Make everything nice and dark, but still natural looking all around the lineup, and just give him a little bit more confidence when he looks in the mirror. Always after applying hair fibers, make sure to go over the lineup one more time, because those excess hair fibers need to be cut off or pushed into the lineup, so that way they're not just sitting there. He's not going to rub any off, and also it'll just make the lineup just look a lot cleaner and a lot better. So make sure to go over the lineup one more time. And if there's any excess hair or fibers or color or anything like that that's still left over on the forehead area, just to make the hairline up stand out a little bit more, go ahead and use that straight razor to make it pop. And this is the before, you guys, and this is the after. I'm so happy with this haircut. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a great transformation and a great way to bring in the new year. Hope you guys learned something today, and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching.